brothers and sisters, what it do, what it do, what it do. This brother Eli L coming at you from Baltimore, Maryland. I want to talk to you about who you are. And now, in this video right here, I'm only addressing the descendants of slaves, okay? I'm not discussing all black people, okay? No, all melanated people. I'm talking about slave descendants, okay? Those who were victims of what you would call, I guess, the transatlantic slave trade, and Middle Passage slave trade or whatever, okay? I'm going to break down to you, all right, in a condensed version, okay, your origin, where you come from. I'm going to give you a brief story of your journey, your sojourn from creation to here, okay? It's just a condensed version, all right? So don't fucking send me no texts about what I left out or this, that, and the other, okay? I'm only going to touch on certain subjects, all right, that I feel need some clarity the most, okay? All right, you start off, all right? First of all, black people, you need to understand this. You're not an African, okay? They've done DNA tests on us, and we're not Africans. And don't fall for these little fake-ass companies out there like that you see like on Maury Povich and shit that's supposed to do DNA tests and tell you where you come from and shit like that. That Bill Gates bullshit you see on PBS public television, okay? He's a coon-ass sellout motherfucker too, all right? You ain't from fucking West Africa. You ain't from fucking Kemet. You ain't from fucking Nubia or Sudan. You ain't from fucking Ethiopia. You ain't from Uganda. You ain't from South Africa, okay? If you are a descendant of slaves, okay, and you don't look like an African, and don't understand this shit. When you see a goddamn African, you say in your mind, without him opening his mouth, you say in your mind immediately, that's a goddamn African, okay? You don't even got to hear him open his mouth. You know they don't look like you, or you at least subconsciously know it if you don't fucking consciously know it. They don't look like you. You can identify them motherfuckers without them even opening their mouths. You say, that's an African. She an African. He an African. Okay? Which means they don't look like you. Shit. They just don't. Okay? But my biggest problem is a lot of you black people out there keep mistaking melanin as some type of geographic marker. Melanin is a chemical, period. It is not a geographic marker. It is not a indicator for where a person come from on the planet Earth, okay? There are other myths, such as the equatorial line, all right? The equator region that runs around the middle of the planet Earth, okay? Where the sun strikes the Earth the most, where the Earth receives most of the sunlight along the equator, okay? And it receives less sunlight at the poles, okay? At the axis, all right? Because you have aborigines, okay? And they are from way below the equatorial line, all right? They ain't getting a whole lot of sun where they from. Yet they blacker than most niggas here, okay? There are no more. Let me clear up the little shit about Mexicans and shit being Hebrews. They not no fucking Hebrews, okay? They not, all right? If you look into their goddamn archaeology and shit like that, you'll find a lot of goddamn elongated, goddamn Nephilim type motherfuckers. Giant, elongated head, reptilian Draco type motherfuckers, okay? They ain't fucking African, all right? And they ain't Hebrew, I mean. And here's the part. They don't even make a claim to be Hebrews. You niggas out there trying to force them into a goddamn box they don't even want to be in or never claim to be in. These are motherfucking pagan motherfuckers that was doing a whole bunch of cannibalism and a whole bunch of demonic satanic rituals and shit. All right. These are the motherfuckers, all right, that was into all kinds of dark ass fucking magic and this, that, and the other. Same way in different parts of Africa. Okay. It is not who you are, okay? It's not who you are. And they don't belong in the 12 tribes of Israel, okay? They're not that, all right? And you got a bunch of niggas out there lying, talking about Mexicans got old Hebrew writings. Fuck no. Fucking no. Fuck no. Mexicans No Incas or Mayans or none of that shit had a written fucking language, period. You dumb motherfuckers. You dumb motherfuckers. Okay? You will not find no ancient writings in some shit called Mexican or Inca or in Mayan writing. You never seen no shit like that. All they had was an oral language, period. Okay? They had an oral language. They don't have, you cannot write fucking Mexican. And that's not to be mistaken for Spanish, okay? Because they weren't speaking Spanish until the goddamn Portuguese came and conquered that region and shit. Okay, they conquered all of South America and came up through the southern parts of the United States, like Mexico and shit like that. The Spaniards came up there and they had got their language from them motherfuckers. All right, through what's called miscegenation. Okay, years and decades and centuries and shit being around fucking Spanish people. Same way that your ass got here and now you speak English. Same shit. But it's not their origin, their language of origin. And it wasn't Hebrew fucking either. Okay? Whatever the fuck they spoke, it wasn't a written language because you cannot find no fucking indigenous writings from fucking Incas, Mayans, or Aztecs and shit. You can't find it. So they didn't have no evidence of a written language, okay? Them motherfuckers was saying how and hoy, you know, all that shit. You can't write that shit. It wasn't no written language. Ain't no goddamn stones with no writings on the shit. You got a bunch of drawings and shit like that, but you don't find no written language from Aztecs, Mayans, and fucking Incas. You don't find a written language. And the pyramids, let me address that shit. The pyramids that you see there, they didn't build a shit. Okay, they ain't nothing but goddamn inheritors of some shit that was there, built by your motherfucking creators. Okay, your creators. All right, these were reptilian Draco motherfuckers. So was the Egyptian. The Egyptian priest class was controlled by fucking Dracos, reptilian, elongated head motherfuckers. Okay. Who was controlling fucking Egypt, okay? You are not no fucking Egyptian, all right? You need to understand that shit. You can go to the goddamn walls in Dendera and Hathor's temple and see all kinds of serpent type shit all over the fucking walls, all right? They were fucking Dracos, and the priest class had the power, not the fucking pharaohs, okay? The pharaohs had to go to the priest to get interpretations on every goddamn thing they did and believed in. Okay, had to be fucking given to them through the priest class, and the priest class was what the fucking the Dracos and the reptilians is what they seized most, because they knew that that's where the power lied. Okay, in the interpretation of the interpreting the pharaoh's decisions, as opposed to being the pharaoh themselves. It's the same shit as like Barack being the fucking president, but he's controlled by some fucking Dracos. Some fucking white motherfuckers in the background. It's the same shit like Sarnetta ass. He's a fucking black man, but he's controlled by some fucking Dracos. Some fucking reptilian motherfuckers who he got handling. It's the same shit with Polite ass. He's a black man, but he's out there in Beverly Hills now being controlled by some fucking Dracos, bragging about he just cut 2 deals with the Dracos, with the reptilians and shit. And they're going to groom these type of niggas like Sarnetta and Polite, because now they have proven to have enough influence over the goddamn blind masses of black people, okay, to get a sit down. They been got invited to sit downs. Polite recently got invited to his sit down. Watch my old videos. I told you the grooming process for grooming black leaders, okay? First you must get their attention by way of influence, okay? It's the same story and example given to you in Yeshua's being brought up on a high place by Satan, okay? See, that Bible man is serious. Most of the shit you need as examples and to teach you how to recognize shit is in there. But you niggas, all right, you niggas all caught in that Egyptian bullshit, and you know, you worshiping your goddamn the motherfuckers that did not fucking like you, okay? Africa, you Hebrews, you descendants of slave Hebrew people, Africa never welcomed you throughout your fucking history, okay? Never. Whenever you went to Africa, you had goddamn problems, okay? You had problems. That's why the Most High gave you a promised land in Mesopotamia, okay? in fucking Uruk, Akkad, Babylon, Shinar, Nineveh. Okay, all that region. Okay, that's why he called that the Promised Land. Israel, Galilee, Jordan, Golan Heights, all that area. Gaza. Okay, Nazareth, Bethlehem. These were all black ghetto subdivisions and shit. When I say ghetto, I don't mean ghetto in the sense that you see it now. I mean it was they were dense black urban populations by when I say the word ghetto. I mean, that's all. You know, it wasn't impoverished or nothing. It was well fucking fitting for the time in which they were in. You know what I mean? So, you know what I'm saying? You need to understand history in its entirety and not be fucking mesmerized by some type of fairy tale shit. Okay? But that's not to say that the information that our predecessors dug up and found for us doesn't have value and worth. No, because if not for the information that Dr. Ben Van Sertima, John G. Jackson, John Henry Clark dug up there, you understand what I'm saying? I couldn't have taken their research and took it a step further. And that's what any good student is supposed to do when he has a good teacher. Okay, if you had a good teacher, you're supposed to take the shit that the teacher taught you a step further, and then your predecessors, if you have taught your students right, okay, and a student is just one who studied. I am a student. A goddamn professor, if he's a good professor, he's always a student. You will forever be a student the rest of your life, okay? You will never know everything. And a true scholar, a true researcher is going to be reading and studying to the grave, okay? Because he has a unquenchable thirst and appetite for knowing, okay? For gnosis, all right? He wants that shit, all right? And so, you know what I mean? You know, you would take that research and you would take it a step further. And this is what I found and done with the Sumerian shit, okay? The Egyptian shit only led me here. You understand what I'm saying? 3-4 years ago, I was on the Egyptian shit heavy. I had a goddamn gold rope with an ankh on it. You should see it in some of my videos. You know what I mean? Especially the one on, in fact, I show you one and discuss the ankh in detail on my video, what the fuck is it? The demonic connection to crosses. I think it's called the demonic connection to crosses, parts 1 and 2. Okay, and where I discuss the demonic origins of a Christian cross. Okay, I'm not talking about those crosses you see on the Anunnaki chest. I'm talking about a cross made and pushed with the ideology, with the ideal that Christianity put behind the cross. Okay, that Constantine, when he claims he saw an image in the sky that had a crown, okay, with the cross going through the crown, okay, and that was nothing but an alliance between the Roman Catholic Church and the monarchy. That's all. It was the cross and the sword joining together to then lay claim to all of the motherfucking biblical world. Okay, this is where you get the creation of the Templars, and then they start moving over to the biblical areas such as Lebanon, Jordan, Galilee, and all that shit, trying to lay claim to it. Okay, but they had a goddamn problem a few years later. Constantine comes around 300, around early 4th century, but then around 2 centuries later, you got Muhammad coming with Islam. That created a major problem for Christianity. All right. All right, so let's begin this little talk of shit as far as like where we come from and our sojourn to where we are today. Condensed version, okay? So don't tell me about what I left out, what I didn't address. If you have a question, I told you how you can reach me. You can reach me at all lowercase Elihu_L at yahoo.com, all right? All right, so here we go. We come out of the area as far as Hebrews, all right? We come out of the area known today as Iraq, Iran, Syria. Also, what was considered Lebanon. If you look into the old text, you'll hear things about Lebanon being famous for their trees. Lebanon, their cedars. They had real tall cedar trees. You don't find many there no more, okay? You'll find mention of the cedar trees in Kings. You'll find it when they're talking about building the temple, the first temple. You'll find it when Solomon builds the second temple. Okay, when he sends for Hiram and they build it. You'll find it also in the Freemasonic temple legend and the stories of Hiram Abiff, where they mention Lebanon cedars. In fact, Freemasonry has a Masonic lodge that pertains to the Lebanon cedars, and they also have a symbol on their apron for one of their degrees that has a tall tree, a cedar from Lebanon on it. That's part of a degree. All right. What else? Okay. So we come out of that area, Shinar. You'll hear Shinar mention Babylon, Nineveh, Uruk, Chaldees. All right. But the first Hebrew is said to be Abraham. Okay. That word Hebrew, again, is not a word that we gave ourselves. It is a word, I think, based on my research, was given to us by the Egyptians. Okay. When we do leave the region, okay, and go to Egypt, all right, you remember, we leave Uruk, okay, and we go to Africa. We go to Egypt, okay? But when we get to Egypt, they don't welcome us, okay? In fact, they turn on us. We was mesmerized like the day off that goddamn shit. Oh, well, these people look like us. Okay, so maybe we'll be welcome here. Let's go to Africa and shit, because you had these fucking white people coming from the east some more, all right? And out of them goddamn Caucasus Mountains. If you know anything, listen, understand geography. Get a map, learn the regions, okay? You're going to have to learn the regions. You're going to have to learn both biblical maps, and you're going to have to learn both modern maps. And you're going to have to do what I always say, a comparative analysis, to put the stories together. I'm trying to give you the tools to put the story together, okay? Is what I'm trying to do. You have to do some more research. You have to, all right? The little short videos that I'm giving you is not going to equip you with enough for you to get a full understanding. All right. And you're supposed to be doing what? Seeking knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. But of the three, seek understanding the most. Because when you understand the thing, then you can teach the thing. Okay. You can teach the thing. And it's important to understand it and teach it so you can get right knowledge. And so that we can spread the information around and we can become liberated. Okay. We can become free by way of truth. All right. That's what we need right now. We need truth. All right. We need truth and good understanding of who the fuck we are, why we're here, what is our purpose, all right? And the answers and the goddamn solutions of how to get out of our out of our dilemma is in the goddamn research, okay? It's in the research, okay? So if you want to get out this dilemma, if you want to be free, do the research, all right? Do the research. It ain't for lazy-minded individuals, okay? You can't watch videos and get out this dilemma. You're going to have to do the book knowledge, all right? You're going to have to do some laboring, okay? You're going to have to sit there until your goddamn eyes can't stay open no more. You're going to have to fall asleep at night with books on your chest, all right? I have books all on my bed surrounding me. You understand what I'm saying? I fall asleep every night reading, okay? If I ain't reading, I got an audio playing of a goddamn book. All right, I'm forever, ever laboring to learn, okay, for knowledge, information, illuminism, light. You understand what I'm saying? However the fuck you want to describe it, gnosis, okay, all the many terms, all right, to describe knowing, okay, because let me tell you this, on another video, I'm going to get into the spirit, your spiritual resurrection, okay, to being to a light being, because you fell. There was a fall, okay? There was a fall, all right? And not just you, but your Anunnaki fell, okay? They fell also, all right? There was a fall. They are not the gods, okay? They are not the Godhead. They are not the Elohim. They are not the Pronoia, okay? They're not the prime source, okay? Or what they say in Latin, the prima materia. They're not the prime material. Okay, they're not light beings, all right? They are manifest physical beings like you too. So at some point, they too experienced the fall. All they did was create us from a prototype, all right? Homo erectus, okay? From Homo erectus, you had Homo sapien, Homo sapien sapien, which is where you are today, okay? So you still will experience resurrections, okay? You will experience you will go through all the experiences of reincarnation until you regain yourself back from which you fell. Okay, you have to transcend. This is what Kabbalah is all about. Okay, this is what the Duat is explaining. When you die, you see, when you have dreams and shit like that, right? I keep getting off subject. I'm sorry, but I'm just a talker. You understand what I'm saying? I don't write my shit down. I speak from the hip. So, you know, forgive me. I go off track. Sometimes I find my way back. Sometimes I don't. But it's going to I'm spitting information continuously. So, you know, not a word is lost. All right. All right. So, you will experience, like in the Dua, okay, when you have dreams and shit like that, right, and nightmares and shit, where you're running from something, something is trying to get you. You have to learn to fight those entities and beings in your dreams, okay? Because these dreams are precursors to a DMT molecule that will be released from your goddamn pineal gland as well. The pineal gland does not only excrete melanin, but it also excretes a hormone known as a DMT molecule. This is the molecule that kicks into action, okay, to help you transcend upon death. But some people use things like psychedelic drugs and shit like that to force themselves to force their gland to release DMT molecules, okay, within the body, all right? And this is where they experience shit like psychedelic trips and shit like that. But the reason why most trips are bad is because you're trying to kick the door into the goddamn astral world. If you hear people talking about things like astral projection and shit like that, right? You're talking about the releasing of the DMT molecule, okay? And it's the thing that when you die, it kicks in to then take you to the next level, okay? Because you got to understand, this physical body is just clothing, okay? It's clothing to your mind consciousness, all right? It's nothing more than a shirt, a pair of pants, a pair of shoes, and shit like that, and a goddamn hat on your head. You understand what I'm saying? It is not who you are and what you are, okay? I remember once hearing, I forgot who it was. It could have been Phil Valentine or something, but they said that you are a light being having a physical experience, okay? And that's a pretty good example of what the fuck is taking place, okay? But you are not the body, all right? What you are is a light being. I drink so much goddamn water a day, it's ridiculous. I'm so glad the goddamn water in Baltimore ain't bad. But then again, I'm good. I got goddamn gallons and gallons and gallons and gallons and gallons and gallons and gallons of that shit. Feel me? So I got enough goddamn water to hold me for about 2 years if that shit was to turn off writ fucking now. I'd be good for a while. I mean, with hygiene and all that shit as well. If anything, if I ain't got a lot of food stored up, which I got enough for that too, I damn sure got plenty of water. You know, hold tight. All right, I'm gonna get back on track with the original meaning of the talk, okay? Because I want to get you, you know, tell you I'm gonna say some shit and then I'm off some goddamn where else. All right. Okay, so we start off in the Chaldea region, okay? So then we have to leave the region, okay? We get pretty much forced out of the region because you have to remember, when we first come on the scene, okay, you have things such as giants still on the goddamn planet Earth. Okay, remember they were motherfucking Nephilim before the flood and after the goddamn flood. You hear about these people in the Epic of Gilgamesh. You'll see them in the artifacts that's in Kemet. You'll see them in the artifacts that's in Sumerian artifacts. Okay, you'll find goddamn skeletal remains all over the planet. All right, all over the planet. This is who built the shit like Stonehenge and shit like that, right? And built certain things like a lot. They built a whole lot of shit here in America. All right. There was a lot of goddamn giants running around in America and in South America. They were there a lot. You know, you find them there a lot. But you find them also a lot in the area in which we originated from. Okay, because you got to remember, when we start out in Mesopotamia and Iraq and Uruk and Ur and all that kind of shit, you're talking like fucking 400,000 years ago. But that's not the, when you hear things about they found a black skeletal remain in South Africa named Lucy, and they dated her 1.4 million years old through the carbon-14 test by Louis B. Leakey and his wife. Okay, you're talking about Homo erectus. Okay, when you see the skeleton of Lucy, which they named her, okay, the arms are very long. The arms are past the knee, and she's very short. Okay, she's short. She's probably about fucking 3.5 feet long. Okay, the arms are past the knee. Okay, this is Homo erectus. All right, this is Homo erectus. Okay, so this is not a modern prototype of man. This is a very primitive man. Okay, a very primitive man. Although he had basic working knowledge of tools, he knew to eat, he knew how to procreate and shit like that. But when you get into the Anunnaki story and they begin making human beings from the Homo erectus prototype, okay, these human beings don't have the knowledge of how to procreate and this, that, and other. And for the first few thousands of years and shit, they ain't teaching these individuals sex. Okay, they pretty much making them as they go. All right, but I guess they got their technology was just that sophisticated. They was artificially inseminating them. And see, you got to remember this: in Anunnaki time, all right, they live for fucking ever. You know what I mean? They live like hundreds of thousands of years old. It's like they had this shit they referred to in the Sumerian tablets as the Elixir of Life. Okay, the Elixir of Life. You'll see in a lot of the goddamn tablets, Sumerian tablets, these trees look like little trees and shit. Oh, they always stand around these goddamn trees. Okay, well, from these trees, they was making this certain thing called an elixir that would help them live long and shit like that. They had found the fountain of youth of what motherfuckers, the white people, see, this is where they got that shit about fountain of youth. They was trying, they been had your shit. They been had your shit, and they kept it hidden into themselves forever and ever. And it is these Sumerian tablets how they learned to fucking rule the world, man. You're talking about a goddamn Cro-Magnon. They didn't have a Homo erectus period. They go from Cro-Magnon to black people going to their region in the Caucasus and fucking teaching them how to stand erect. Homo erectus is a man that's already born to walk upright. They weren't that. They were crawling on hands and feet. Not hands and knees, hands and feet in a bent over position. Okay? How you would have your back arched up. Because you remember, in their origin, their stories of their origin, you got the story of what? Romulus and Remus. White people don't have an origin story. Okay? They don't have a story of a man, of someone creating them. Whether it be a god or whether it be fucking Anunnaki space, you know, individuals or whatever, or Elohim or anything. They just simply come off with they here. Two brothers, Romulus and Remus, raised by a fucking dog. You understand that shit? This is why they are so fond of dogs. This is why they'd rather kill a nigga before they kill a dog. You kill a goddamn dog, a white person's dog, your ass going to prison forever, ever, ever. But if you know, if a white person kill a nigga, ain't nothing. Let a white person kill another white person's dog. All hell gonna break loose. All right? So, Homo erectus has no concept of a god or none of that. All of this stuff comes from you. It's not even in Africa yet. A concept of a god. You understand what I'm saying? They don't even get over there yet. You understand what I'm saying? They don't get over there yet. So then, when you get into the Sumerian text, all right? What you then also find, see, you got to remember this. When the Anunnaki make us and shit, we ain't the only ones, all right? They created a whole bunch of different types of races, all right? But when they get Homo erectus, Homo sapiens sapien is where you get the Hebrew. It's where you get us, okay? Who aren't African, all right? Wait a minute. Let me see if I can find this shit for you in this secret covenant. Hold tight. Let me read to you about the races of man. All right, like the first race, the second race, third race, fourth race. Hold on. All right, this is from the book Secret Covenant. See if we got that. Okay. Madame Blavatsky. It's a book on anthropogenesis. Okay. The beginnings. All right. If you see right here, you'll see this is one of the oldest texts describing the creation of how shit came about. And if you see right here, it says what? Stanzas from the Book of Zion. You see Zion spelled D-Z-Y-A-N. It's pronounced Zion, like Z-I-O-N. Stanzas from the Book of Zion. Meaning verses, okay? Stanzas, verses, okay? Verbatim, okay? The Anthropogenesis in the Secret Volume. Verbatim extracts, okay? The Allah, which turns the fourth, is subservient to the Allah of the seven, okay? Talking about Elohim, Allah, okay? Elohim, okay? This Allah, remember, Hebrew is a phonetic language, okay? It's based on sound. You don't find a lot of consonants in there. I mean, vowels in there. So this is how you get words like Allah and like the first one who came to earth, Allalu, okay? I'm going to try to do the best I can. But you can PDF the Secret Covenant, all right? So I'm going to just read it for you. The Allah, which turns the fourth, is subservient to the Allah of the seventh. They who revolve during their chariots, driving their chariots around their Lord, the one eye. His breath gave life to the seven, and it gave life to the first. Now, if you remember, anyone who studied, hold on one more second. All right, I'm sorry. I'm trying to cook at the same goddamn time. I'm sorry, y'all. Trying to cook and eat at the same time. It's going on 7 o'clock and I'm diabetic. I gotta eat. Okay. All right. Did you hear what it said? I'm going to read to you again. It says, the Allah of the seventh, okay, meaning like Elohim. When you spell Elohim, okay, that would be pretty much Aleph, Lamed, Hey, Mim, okay? That's how it would be in Hebrew. Aleph, Lamed, Hey, Mim, okay? Okay, but if you was to try to write it in English letters, okay, Elohim would be L-H-M. Elohim, okay? Here, you're saying the Allah. It has the word the in front, meaning you're not talking about a plural. So you're not talking about all of them. You're only talking about one singular, the Allah, the definitive article, the one, okay? So you're talking about the one, which turns the fourth, is subservient to the Allah of the seven. So, okay, you have stations, obviously. You have stations, okay? 7 stations, all right? And it says the one who turns the fourth is subservient to the Allah of the seven, meaning the seven has authority over the fourth, okay? All right. And it says that his breath gave life to the seven, and it gave life to the first, okay? So for some reason, it ain't sounding orderly, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, one being, the predecessor of the seven. Different ones have different authorities, obviously, okay? Because it says that, Allah of the seventh, they who revolve, driving their chariots around the Lord, the one eye, okay? I don't know. I know a lot of old Gnostic texts and things like that that describe what's called the 7 spirits of the Elohim. If anybody who've ever read the Aquarian Gospel and the procession of equinoxes in the intro of the Aquarian Gospel, will remember that they describe the tree of life or the hierarchy of God as, I'll do the best I can. This is like shit I studied 30 years ago, basically. First, there was the one, which is known as universal breath. Okay? And he breathed forth. And when he breathed forth, 3 spirits stood before him. Okay? The Father, the Mother, and the Son. The Father being the God of force and might. The Mother being the God of thought and wisdom. And the Son being the God of love. Okay? Hold tight again. I got to take this stuff off. Hold tight again. Let me prepare this food. Okay. So you have the one, universal breath, and it breathed forth, and 3 spirits stood before it. Okay? And those 3 spirits was the God of the Father, the Mother, and the Son. Okay? The Father was the God of force and might. The Mother being the God of thought and wisdom, and the Son being the God of love. Okay? This is where you get your Trinity concept from. The original origin of the Trinity concept. It's not no goddamn Osiris, Isis, and Horus. Okay? It's not it. There's some shit way older than that. Okay? Way older than that. I'm sorry to bust y'all Egyptian bubbles and shit, but if you want to know the truth and you want right knowledge, I'm giving it to you. Straight up. Okay? And you know, motherfuckers say, well, like, how you know all that shit or whatever? Well, okay, I'm sharing the shit with you, okay? Because somebody shared it with me, okay? Through books and shit like that I've read, okay? And I've studied many different books and shit. And it's from the studying and cross-referencing of all the information that I've studied and researched that I can then pin down the truth. Where did all these things agree on and shit? Where's that thin vein of truth that strives between all these old ancient texts and shit? Okay? And what I'm telling you right now is quite sound. Okay? On some of the oldest you know, stories of creation and everything, Gnosticism, the allogenes, meaning the first genes, okay? The primal materia, the primary source, okay? All right. So, if you remember, when you're dealing with, and see, and then you see in the Acquiring Gospel, Yeshua says something like this. Man only sees one of these attributes or one of these things, and to him, that is the all of God. So, for instance, Allah, the God of law, the Islamic God of law, he is a God of force and might, okay? The God that David worshiped and he worshiped and saw the God of force and might. Lord, help me, you know, slay my enemies and shit. Make my arrows straight. Make my bow strong. Help them find their mark, Lord. You know, kill all those who rise up against me, Lord. So he worshiped and saw the God of might. Okay? Solomon, he saw the God of thought. He saw the mother God, the feminine goddess, okay? Thought and wisdom. He describes wisdom as her. He always puts it in the feminine sense, okay? Seek knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, for she is finer than gold, you know, and finer than gold and silver. He always referred to his God in the feminine sense, okay? So, to him, he saw that. And then, of course, you know, Yeshua is the God manifest of love, okay? Love made manifest, okay? All right. So, what else I wanted to say? So, then it goes on to say, then these 3 spirits, oh no, I know what I want to say. In the Anunnaki Sumerian pantheon, okay, the Trinity would be this. It would be Anu, okay, the Father, all right? All right, and then you would have Enlil, okay? No, you would have Anu, then you would have his firstborn Enki, who would be wisdom and thought, okay? No, I know how it go. They said this. I read this the other day. You had Anu, okay, at the top. This is the Trinity. Then you had Enki, who was like thought and wisdom, or like in the feminine sense. He was the one that had compassion on us, all right, who wanted to nurture us. He loved seeing his creation grow and evolve and learn things and shit. It made him excited. He didn't no longer wanted us in the mind slaving and shit. He began teaching us certain shit. All right, that his brother Enlil used to get mad, saying, "Why are you teaching them all this stuff?" You know what I mean? You know, you making them smart. And remember, when you get into the Tower of Babel story, it says that Enlil looks down and says, basically, these motherfuckers is building a tower, trying to reach the heavens. They want to get up there like us. You understand what I'm saying? Be able to, you know, navigate the goddamn celestials and shit like us. He said, if we let this shit continue, they're going to be just as smart as we are. All right? That's in the Bible. I'm just summarizing the shit, though. They're going to get as smart as Anunnaki are. You know what I mean? Because of, you know, Anki ass. So he says this to his followers. Remember, it's a split. Each brother has their own little followers and shit. Some are siding with Anki, some siding with Enlil. So Enlil says, or El says, let us go down and confound their speech, right? Let's confuse their ass, all right? You know, to stall them out. That'll set them back a ways, right? And all this is happening in the same region in which they created this. This is happening in Babylon, right? All right. So, all right, you got Anu, then you had Enki, who was thought and wisdom, because Enki was the scientist, okay? He was the one that came up with the idea of splitting the atoms, this and the other. But Enki had his, he was supposed to be the ruler of Earth, Ea, okay? This is why you get the name Earth, okay? He was supposed to be the Lord over this planet, okay? But what happened with him is, Enlil was going back, telling his father, Anu, you know, we supposed to be down here mining this having these motherfuckers mine this goddamn gold, and Enki fucking around, you know, playing with his goddamn experiments, basically. You know what I'm saying? And so they basically dethrone Enki as the, you know, the Lord of planet Earth, and send Enlil down here, El. Okay? First Yah is in charge, and then Enlil says, you know, he down there bullshitting, man. You know, our planet is in danger, and he down there bullshitting. So they send the elders or whatever. You remember, see, you know in the Bible how it says that God has a throne surrounded by 24 elders and shit. That same shit is described in the goddamn Sumerian tablets, y'all. In the goddamn Sumerian tablets. The goddamn elders, they call it a council. They call it a council, okay? So they make Enlil in charge, like, well, Enlil, we send you down there. You know nonsense. You'll get the job done. He's like a no-nonsense general sent down here to make sure that work is goddamn progressing, okay? And that motherfuckers ain't playing around bullshitting, that the job is getting done, okay? So when I told you about the Trinity, Enki is thought and wisdom. He's the nurturer. He's the mother symbology. And Enlil is force, might, and control. Okay? This is his attribute. Force, might, and control. Okay? And the way it goes is, at any time, we, Hebrews, their creation, we can call on any of these gods, okay? Any of these gods that help us when we need help in any one of them areas. When we need help in compassion and love and mercy and understanding, all right, and wisdom and thought, we will call on Enki, Yahweh, okay? When you need help in control, in force, and might, courage, standing up, fighting these goddamn crackers, you will call on El. You understand what I'm saying? These are the gods within your pantheon. These are the creators. These are the genetic bloodline that runs within you. You have their genetics, okay? White people refer to it as junk DNA because they don't understand the shit and they don't have the shit, but they know it's there, all right? And the shit that they have that they call junk DNA only comes from the goddamn the shortcomings of the experiments that was done in which they were created, where they came out not right, and they basically like a scrapped project, okay, where they like fuck that, they ain't right, start over. Because remember, when you read Sumerian tablets, Lost Book Anki, when they make the first creatures and shit, these motherfuckers can't, they don't have speech, they can't understand shit, you know, they grunting and shit. All right, so that's where you get that Trinity thing from. Then in the there you get the story goes. So you had the one universal breath. It breathed forth. 3 spirits stood before it. The God of the Father, the Son, and the Mother. The Father, the God of force and might. The Mother, the God of thought and wisdom. The Son, God of love. Okay. Then those 3 spirits breathed forth in unison at the same time. And when they did, 7 spirits stood before them. These are the 7 spirits of the Elohim. This is the 7 that the Elohs in the secret covenant is describing. You heard it mentioned breathing forth. He breathed, okay? The one eye. He breathed, okay? And then it happened. That's what you would call Ruach. The spirit, the breath, okay? The ruach. That's the word in Hebrew, okay? And when I told you the word Kadesh or Kadash mean holy, so when you say the Holy Spirit, you're saying Ruach HaKadesh, okay? That's how you would say that. And you hear stories of like the angel Gabriel breathing into Mary and getting her pregnant. You know, he blew on her. Okay, that's how she was able to get pregnant without a consort, without making her having sex with her. He basically put her ass to sleep and impregnated her artificially inseminated. Okay, that's all it means, man. And now that you have the understanding that they had this capability, the story ain't as crazy after all, is it? Tell you, man. Once you get into them Sumerian tablets, it's going to then unlock so many doors. It's a key. Imagine remember in the Matrix where you had the little Chinese man called a key maker? And he had all these floors and levels and hallways with these doors and doors and doors. Well, if you want a master key to unlock all them doors, the Kemetic doors, all the doors of different schools of thought, Gnosticism and all that, get the Sumerian tablets understood. Okay, it's a key to unlock a whole lot of doors and help you gain entry into them and get you some understanding. Okay, all right. The 7, the 3 breathed forth in unison, and 7 spirits stood before them. These are what is known as the 7 spirits of the Elohim. Let me see if I can still remember this. I'm gonna tell you, I studied this shit in 1987. I remember sitting at my mother's living room kitchen table, reading my ass off. Then when I went to college, when I finished high school in 87, I took it to college with me. And I was doing more reading than that goddamn Aquarian Gospel. That was the first book that really like blew my fucking mind. I'm 17 years old. And I'm reading these words, man, and it was like the deepest shit I ever heard in my life. All right. They breathe forth the 7, and see, I learned all this shit just reading it. This is what I'm telling you is verbatim in the Aquarian Gospel. I just now told you the 1, the 3, the 7. I read that shit so many times. You know, man, I tell you, man. When I tell you I've been studying this shit like 30 years, yo, I'm not lying to y'all, brothers and sisters. You know, I don't have to lie to nobody. You know what I'm saying? Because first of all, if I say some shit like that and I ain't talking 30-year type experience in my words, then you would say, hey, 30 years, get the fuck out of here. And I'm talking minus 10 years of prison and another damn near 10 years as a drug addict. So I really had about 12 years of hardcore study, but you know, starting and stopping over the course of 30 years, I've been studying, okay? Because even in prison, still studying. Even when I was getting high, still studying, you know? I would get high and nod the fuck out with a goddamn book in front of me, you know what I mean? All right, the 7 spirits of the Elohim, man, plant. Let's see if I get this right. All right, man, earth, plant, beast, protoplast, cherubim, seraphim. That's it. Man, earth, plant, beast, protoplast, cherubim, and seraphim. Protoplast, bacteria, amoebas, you know what I'm saying? Microorganisms and shit like that. You know, cells and shit like that within your body and all these type of things. Microscopic life, okay? Protoplast. That's how they refer to it in the ancient days. See, the ancients wasn't as dumb as you think. They had some serious goddamn terms and understanding about life. And you think, well, how do they understand protoplast? How do they understand? They mentioned ethers and shit like that and atoms and shit. And they didn't have microscopes. Heavy shit, right? That's because the goddamn Anunnaki. Even Enoch told you that those who from heaven came taught man all these things. It's in the book of Enoch too. It's in the Bible. It's in the book of Enoch. You know what I mean? All right. So, and cherubim and seraphim are angel forms, okay? A cherubim and a seraphim are angel forms. All right, I'm done eating. I know y'all probably saying, I was this nigga already up and eat. All right. Okay, so that's where you get that from. Now let me see more of this secret covenant. But you know, you're gonna have to get one for yourself. So I posted recently some pictures of Sumerian artifacts and shit showing the winged Anunnaki with the circle and shit and them flying. That represents, like it says in here, driving their chariots. They call them celestial chariots. Eagle wings. When you see the Anunnaki photos of them with the eagle head, those in the Sumerian tablets is a helmet. They wore that, the eagle's helmet, when they were traveling in their celestial chariots, okay? And the white people knew that shit, all right? What did the motherfuckers say when they landed on the moon? The eagle has landed. See, they steal your shit. They seen all them Sumerian tablets with the eagle heads and shit. That's why they chose your symbol, the eagle, for America and shit. It's a mighty symbol. It's your shit. Your shit. Alright? Them wing discs and shit are UFOs, celestial chariots. They told you in Egypt that there was what? The sun, the winged sun disc for Ra. That's bullshit. False interpretation. Because they didn't go to the source. They didn't go to the source. They didn't go to the source. They started in the middle of the book. This is anthropogenesis. Anthropogenesis. All right? Meaning really before Genesis. Anthropogenesis. Before Genesis. It says this. Said the earth, Lord of the shining face, my house is empty. Send thy sons to people this will. Thou hast sent thy 7 sons to the Lord of wisdom. 7 times does he see thee nearer to himself. 7 times more does he feel. I'm trying to read on the angle so y'all can see it. I keep losing the next line. Does he feel thee? Thou hast forbidden thy service, the small rings, to catch thy light and heat, thy great bounty to intercept its passage. Send down thy servant the same. This seems to be describing Enuma Elish, okay? The story of Mumu and Tiamat, Okay, Mumu and Tiamat were the planets. All right, I'm gonna make a video on that shit. That shit is heavy. More Anunnaki stuff. Each planet was considered a god. Okay, and then first there was 7 of them. Okay, the mother, the head planet was one called Tiamat. Okay, and her consort was named it wasn't Adapa. Her husband was called something else. Okay, and then she had children, the other planets, Neptune, Venus, Uranus, and this, that, and other, right? Now, they did at this time. I'm not going to tell you on this one now, okay? Because that's going to be one of my next ones. All right, the Enuma Elish, the story of Mumu and Tiamat. Okay, how planet Earth came about, because I had a brother ask me a question about Pangea, okay, and Lemuria and shit like that. Okay, and I'm gonna get into that, the biblical part and all that shit. I'm gonna break it all down to you. All right. So that's what this is talking about. I already know what this is talking about. Lord of the shining face. That's the sun. Okay. All right. So this is the book, The Secret Covenant. It's called The Secret Doctrine. I'm sorry. By Madame Blavatsky. It's hard reading, meaning that you got to have some. If you're gonna fuck with it, you're gonna have to have some more books that like go back and forth too, to help you get some more understanding. But what I would do first is I would just keep reading and rereading it. But this is why you have to have a broad area of study, man. You can't focus in one area or you're not going to get the full picture of the shit. It's like trying to paint a picture with one color of paint, okay? You'll see the picture, but it doesn't have any, it don't really come to life. It don't have no depth, okay? This is what I told you about depth perception, how memes destroy depth perception, okay? It don't take you deep into the picture. It has no substance, okay? It's not dimensional, all right? You know, there's like 9 dimensions, okay? Height, width, length, breadth, you know what I mean? Density and all that kind of shit, you know, which are nothing but measurements, man. This is when you get into the Hebrew Sefer Yetzirah, the book of what is Sefer Yetzirah? The book of Yetzirah, formation, the book of formation, the Sefer Yetzirah, in which it used the alphabet to describe how God made the dimensions, okay, of life, okay? The Aleph, all the way from Aleph all the way to Zion, okay? All right. So, I'll make a part 2 to this, man, because I know I was all over the place. But hopefully, for what it's worth, you got a little bit of jewels out of this one, all right? I'm sorry for moving all around, man. But like I say, when I try to write stuff down and organize, I'm not a lecturer. I don't do well. I be stiff, you know what I mean? And I'm not myself in my element. I'm not relaxed. Now, when I do it informal, like I always do, I'm relaxed. I feel like I'm more in my groove, and I feel like it's more my charisma and my personality also complements what I'm saying. Okay, you know what I mean? And we come from what's called an oral tradition as Hebrews. All right, our tradition was known as the oral tradition. In Africa, they used the oral tradition known as the griot, the storytellers. Okay, so we learn better from, you know, the oral tradition as opposed to reading books. Okay, but you know, some of us are pretty equipped to handle this European writing and shit like that, and gifted enough to be able to break it down. You know what I'm saying? So that, you know, people who don't really get all of that book shit, you know what I mean, can understand it also. You know what I'm saying? So this is why I make the videos and everything. Because, you know, I know when I tell y'all read these books and never, I always try to give you audio versions if I know of them. Because you can learn a lot from the audio versions, all right? But this secret doctrine right here, you can Google it, PDF it for free. You do not have to pay for the shit, okay? Just go to Google, type in the secret doctrine, PDF. It's by Madam H.P. Blavatsky. But this is volume 2. Volume 2 is the one you want. Volume 1, I don't like it. But volume 2 is the one you want. It's heavy. It is heavy. It's super duper heavy, matter of fact. All right, and one day maybe I'll do a video just premiering all the different chapters within it. Okay, because it's a heavy motherfucker. All right, this been Brother Larry LPs.